Hello again, friends and loyal Wolfpack members. Chaos Wolf here, and welcome back to the Elite Dangerous 2.3 beta server. Today we're going to be having a first impression look at this, the Dolphin. Now the Dolphin is the smallest of the luxury liners. It's also the latest one to be introduced to the game. And you may be able to tell already that this ship is actually a lot smaller than I was originally expecting it to be. This ship, believe it or not, lands on a small landing pad. Yep, that's right, this is a small ship. So that begs the question, what is it going to be like on the internals? But having a look at it visually speaking, I've got to say it is kind of appealing to look at. Obviously it follows the same vein as the Orca and the Beluga before it, because basically they are in the same family of ships. They're all the luxury liners. But this one, as we said, is the smallest of the three. It's pretty much the equivalent of a space limo. Having a look inside, we're going to be using the new camera suite for the first time ever in this series. But what we can see here is that the bridge is actually a lot larger than I would have first anticipated. This is really huge. Now, it's obviously very metallic, very shiny, very new and clean. It's got what looks like emergency fire extinguishers on the side panels. And looking from another angle, we can actually go and see that we are the only occupant of the bridge. So we can go and safely say that this ship is not going to be having any multi-crew capabilities whatsoever. And again, we can see that the finish here is extremely clean and new. Looking around the cockpit in our old usual manner, we can go and see that our field of view is actually fairly good. Now obviously it's not going to be as good as some of the Lakon ships where we can see through the floor, but it's not bad. It's a very big and wide view. And obviously it's not going to be as good as some of the Imperial ships like the Clipper that allow you to just look up and see absolutely nothing but where you're going and what's around you. But I've got to say, it does offer a nice view. Now, for those of you wondering about the price of the Dolphin, we can actually go and see that it sits in the ship lineup just after the Type 6 and just before the Diamondback Explorer. So this ship is not going to be that much in total. Here in James Memorial, it says that it's 117,000 credits here. But this is at basically 10% of what it should be on live. And let's not forget that James Memorial also has a 10% discount on there. So this is going to be like around about 9% maybe of its total price when it goes to live. So I reckon it's going to be around about 1.2, 1.3 million there or thereabouts. So it's going to be very affordable for a luxury ship. In fact, I'm very tempted to go and pick one of these up for myself and for Ducky if they go and perform well enough. Now, let's go and have a look at the stock stats. The top cruising speed is 258 meters per second. The stock boost speed is 361 meters per second, although I suspect the actual practical maximum speed is a little bit lower than that. Maneuverability-wise, it's saying it is 3 out of 10, although I never really trust these, because I find this to be a very poor indicator of the actual maneuverability of the ships. Its stock jump range is 10.67 light years with a 10.11 laden range. So that's not bad for a stock jump range. I mean, let's go and have a look, shall we? We've got the Diamondback Scout's got just a tiny bit over that. The Viper Mark III's got a little under. The Cobra's got a little under, and the Viper's got a lot under. Eagle under, and the Adder is under. The Hauler is also under, and bearing in mind that a lot of these ships can actually be put together and have a fairly decent jump range, especially after engineers. The standard shields are 143 megajoules, armour is, as standard, 198. The hull mass is 140 tons, so it's not exactly that heavy. Let's have a look at it in comparison to the Type 6. The hull mass on the Type 6 is 155, and on the Diamondback Explorer, it is nearly 300. So it's under half the weight of a Diamondback Explorer, so that's not bad at all. Which is not surprising, because the Diamondback Explorer is exceptionally heavy. As stock, it comes with 14 tons of cargo capacity, although we can swap that out for more things like... But there you go, we could, if we wanted, go and swap that out for something else. Oh, I don't know, maybe like crew cabins? Now it's time to go and have a look at this in the outfitting department. Hardpoint wise, we'll start off here. You can see that it's literally just got 2 small hardpoints, which are currently fitted with 2 small pulse lasers. Utility mounts, we do have 3, so 2 on the top and 1 at the bottom. So maybe the one at the bottom for a point defense to go and help protect against limpets and so on. Core internals, we've got the standard sweep, and we do not have any military compartments because, let's be honest, this is not a military ship. It's a luxury passenger vessel. You're not going to be having any military slots in these. But they're not bad. Let's go and have a look. We've got a Class 4 power plant, Class 5 thrusters, Class 4 frameshift drive, Class 4 life support, Class 3 power distributor, and a Class 3 sensors. So the power distributor is going to be more than enough to go and run the 2 small hard points quite easily, in fact. Because I do believe a Viper has a Class 3 power distributor and can run 2 small beam lasers quite efficiently. And with the classes of all these internals, it's not going to be massively expensive to go and A-rate this ship. Although, with a Class 4 power plant, I do wonder whether we're going to start running into some power issues. I can't really imagine it since we don't have very big weapons, but we do have potentially a few issues when it comes to how many internals we've got. So, speaking of which, we're now off into the optional internals, and as you can see, there are actually quite a few. There are a good amount of internal bays, which surprises me considering that this is a small ship. The amount of internals would make you believe that this might actually be a kind of a medium-sized ship. Because I know medium-sized ships we've got less internal space. But either way, the first of these is a Class 5 slot. Now this, I suspect, is going to be one of the special ones that can only allow you to have cargo racks, hull reinforcements, module reinforcements, or passenger cabins. So that's not going to allow you to put shields or anything on the ship. The Class 4, let's have a look at this one. This allows you to put virtually anything you want in there. And let's have a look at this one as well. The second Class 4 is the same. Class 3, let's go and have a look in here. Again, that'll allow you to put virtually anything in there. And the Class 2s, I suspect those are going to be the same. Yes, they are. The Class 5 is the only one that limits you to having certain modules, because this is specifically designed for having nothing but passenger cabins. But this means we can have a Class 4 shield, we can have a Class 4 fuel scoop, and then we can have more passenger cabins down the bottom. That's going to be really nice to have. And also a little bit of space down the bottom for that ever useful cargo space for running missions. But yes, overall, I'm kind of surprised at how much internal space we actually have. But anyway, let's move on, shall we? The next one is the livery section, and all we really want to go and do is just have a quick look here, because as we can see, it's changed a little bit. The weapon detailing is basically the weapon colours. So we can go and put them on here, because it's moved up from the bottom to the top. We've also got 3 decals, one at the front. So let's go and plonk on our Elite Exploration. There we go. We've also got another one on this side. So we'll go and put the same one there. And on the other side as well. So they're actually quite well placed, I find. Because some of the ships have them in really strange places. We can also go and name the ship, although we will not be able to have this actually appear on the ship without a purchasable item from the Frontier store, which would be the nameplates. And as you can see, we've got a nameplate here above one of the intake vents. Same on the other side, mirrored. And 2 ID ports, which look like they're, well, 2 ID slots, which look like they're about here. So that's interesting. They've also got the added option for engine detailing, which I assume is going to be engine colours, which will probably be a thing once 2.3 hits. And then we've got all the standard dashboard modifications. Now, as we can see, we also do not have the body kit modifications for this in here yet. Maybe we'll have them at some point, but I don't think we're going to be getting them for these ships for a good long while. But again, I could very well be wrong. Now, what I want to go and do is I want to go and set up this ship as I would have it for running passengers. So let's go and see just how well this would actually go. Alrighty guys, so we've gone and set it up for how I would have it for running passengers. First of all, I've gone and swapped out the standard pulse lasers for 2 turreted pulse lasers, just because I want to have them there in case we need them. If we get attacked and there are police around, I wouldn't mind having the ability to just go and fire on the ship and potentially claim a bounty. But, like I said, they're really just for show. We could happily go and drop them because I can't imagine this ship going to be able to do too much in combat. As for the utility mounts, we've gone and got a point defense mounted on the bottom so that we can protect potentially against limpets, a A-rated shield booster, and a chaff launcher. Onto the core internals, we've got the standard lightweight alloys, 3A power plant, because that's all we really need to run this ship to its current capacity, 5D thrusters, the best frameshift drive, D-rated life support, a 1A rated power distributor. Now, I do suspect that this will still give us the ability to go and boost. If not, we'll go and upgrade it. 3D sensors as well, and as you can see, we've got the standard 16-ton fuel tank. Onto the optional internals, we've got a 5B luxury cabin. Now, the only reason we've gone and put this in is because this ship allows us to run luxury cabins, so what's the point of not having one? And also, the Class 5, unless I'm completely mistaken, is the smallest of the luxury cabins. So that's the only one we can actually go and fit. And it does go and comfortably fit 4 passengers in that particular cabin. So we should be able to accept a good amount of luxury missions if we see them cropping up. We've also got 2 first class cabins in the Class 4 slots. And these both allow for 3 passengers each. So a grand total of 6 first class passengers. So all in all, we'll be able to take on 10 passengers because we don't have any more cabins on here. So this ship is really quite literally just a small little party bus. That's all it is, a luxury party bus limo. A 3A shield generator. Now, we could go and knock this down to like a 3D or something just to go and give us more of a jump range. I mean, if you went and did that, you could see that we go from a 24.12 light year jump range from a 24.42 light year jump range. So it's not the greatest of increases. It's an increasing of 0.3, I believe. No, 0.32 even. So it's okay, but it's neither really here nor there. It may become more useful later on if we go and modify things, but like I said, it's neither here nor there. Next, we've also got a 2A fuel scoop. Now, I was toying with the idea of running a Class 4 fuel scoop. The main problem with that is we just miss out on so many passengers. I mean, we could go and fill these out with nothing but economy classes if we wanted and just go and run bulk missions. But this is a luxury ship, why not run luxury passengers? I mean, like I said, we could, and if we went and did that, we'd be able to go and increase our passenger carrier capability by quite a lot. And here we go. If we wanted to go and fit this out for just economy passengers, we could have 16 in the Class 5 and 8 each in both of these. So that's going to be 32 passengers that we could take on the ship. Now, obviously, we could also go and drop the Discovery Scanner or the cargo capacity to be able to go and carry more if we're not planning to go that long range. So, yeah, it's possible. But as I said, I much prefer running this for luxury and first class passengers. These are the best cabins that we can fit in each of the relative slots. Because I did go and check when I was putting this back in, yes, you cannot get Class 4 or lower luxury cabins. They are the smallest of Class 5. But moving on, after the fuel scoop, we briefly touched on the cargo rack. Now, we have to at least have 4 tons of cargo capacity to go and accept most missions. Because there are some missions which will give you 4 commodities as a reward. And you will not be able to accept these missions unless you have adequate cargo capacity in your ship. So you at least need a Class 2 cargo rack in order to go and accept these. Which is why we have one here. We've also got an advanced discovery scanner. We could equally go and swap this out for something else, maybe a economy cabin, maybe something else. But if we're going to be running a lot of luxury missions for VIPs, we're probably going to be running a long distance, and not all of the systems we're going to be going to are going to have system data. So it's going to be nice to have the advanced discovery scanner just so we can find our way around. But anyway, this is pretty much how I would go and have this set up. Now, we could equally go and set this up in a very similar way, but have it just run for cargo. Now, let's just go and see how much cargo we could actually fit in this little dinky ship. So here we go, guys. We've completely filled this ship with nothing but cargo racks for the maximum size for that particular slot, and we've come away with 84 tons of cargo. Now, this is the second best small landing pad cargo ship for capacity in the game. The first being the Cobra Mark IV. Now, not everybody has access to the Cobra Mark IV, but everybody is going to have access to this ship. So this is going to be, on average, the largest of the small cargo runners. So it's going to be quite nice, actually. But the thing is we can go and throw back in our shield generator. And this is going to go and reduce our overall cargo capacity. See, it takes it down to 76 tons of cargo, but that's still fairly respectable. I really don't see the point of using this ship as a cargo runner. You can quite easily go and pick yourself up a Type 6 and get way more cargo in than this. Unless you just want to go and fly around in style, then by all means go ahead. But as I said, I do really think that running this ship as a luxury passenger liner is going to be the best way of doing it. Now, like I said, we're going to have a 24 light years worth of jump range, but if you get some good rolls on a grade 5 frameshift drive modification, you're going to easily be able to push that up over 30 light years. I'm guessing around about 36, 37 light years worth of jump range, which is not bad. Perhaps a little bit more if you go and modify other parts of the ship for being lightweight. So this ship is going to be very viable, I think, after modification to go and do long-range missions. Now, obviously, if you're going to go and do long-range missions, you may want to swap something out in the ship for an auto-field maintenance unit, just in case you go and have some accidents out there. But, as I said, that's totally up to you. You may also want to go and swap out, potentially, the other cargo rack for a detailed surface scanner if you also want to go and do a tad of exploration out there. Because this ship, after modification, could go and make quite a nice exploration vessel as well. But before we do anything else, we're going to go and see just how well this ship handles. Now, bear in mind, this isn't completely stock. We have upgraded it for how we're going to go and run missions. So let's go and see how quickly it goes and accelerates from standing to full speed. That was actually quite a quick acceleration. I've got to say, the sound of the engines is quite amusing. So let's also go and see just how well it pitches. So we're going to slow down into the optimal speed for turning. And let's go and turn. Now this isn't bad either. It seems to turn to quite an easy loop. There we go, back to here. We'll go and see just how well it goes and yaws as well. Now I've got to say the yaw feels slightly light as well. It seems to yaw very, very well. Not like other ships that seem to have a massive issue when you try to yaw. And ships like the Anaconda really do not like to turn the yaw axis on the yaw axis. Now, let's go and see how this boosts, and let's go and see how well it sounds, because I've heard some interesting rumours about how it sounds. Yep, it seems the rumours were correct. It does actually sound like a Dolphin when it boosts. Let's go and hear that again. So that does sound awesome. And then let's go and quickly see how fast this comes to a stop. That is not bad at all. But then again, this is a small ship, and we have upgraded the thrusters one level. So this is going to allow it to go and move really, really efficiently. Now, another thing we want to go and quickly check while we are in Super Cruise is how well it actually goes and handles in Super Cruise. Now, I've got to say that it doesn't handle that badly. I would have thought that it might have been a little bit sluggish in Super Cruise, but no, it's actually fairly responsive. So I imagine getting out of interdictions might not be a problem as long as you know what you're doing. And here we are in a high intensity resource extraction site. Now, why am I here, you may be asking? Well, what I want to go and do is try and see how long we're going to be able to stay alive after we go and antagonize some... Ooh, that looks like a good target. Let's go and antagonize a further lance called Firefox and see just how long we go and actually stay alive. Now, I don't suspect it's going to be too long, but we'll give it a go and just see what happens. So first of all, let's preemptively put all pips into systems and go and see what happens. We're just going to go and sit stock still.
Under attack.
And here we go. He's coming to attack us now. And we're not going to do anything to go and stop him. Now, the attack started about 15:01:30.
Accelerated shield regeneration.
He's hitting us with accelerated shield regeneration. Okay. So we're not doing too much to him at all. Okay, 27 seconds roughly until our shields went down. And then the hole's just going down ridiculously quickly. There we go, and we're dead.
Eject. Eject. Eject.
Now, there was a reason for this. The reason for this was just to go and see how long we could go and survive a full frontal assault. Because we're not actually going to be doing that in this ship. We're going to be mainly running the hell away. And I just wanted to go and see how much punishment we could go and endure before we exploded. So we could roughly go and work out whether or not we'd be able to run away. Now, judging by this, we should be able to survive long enough to be able to do a high wake jump to another system whilst being chased by a larger ship. The third lance is probably going to be one of the better examples because it's going to be a ship that's going to be able to keep up and put out a lot of damage towards us. So overall, I think this ship is going to be very survivable when it comes to running away. But let me know what you think down in the comments as per usual. So I think this ship is going to be very survivable when it comes to running away. It's definitely going to be able to survive until it can high wake, and overall I think this ship is a very nice addition to the lineup of ships. And at the end of the day, I am in fact considering picking one of these up for myself, if not just for running passenger missions, just because it looks kind of nice. And it is small enough and cheap enough that it's easily maintainable. And not only that, but you're going to be able to run luxury passenger missions from this little bus. But anyway, that's enough of what I think about this ship. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this ship. Are you going to be getting one? What are you going to be doing with it? I mean, are you going to be doing it for luxury passenger running missions? Are you going to be doing bulk passenger running missions? Or are you even just going to be using it as a luxury exploration ship, or even a luxury trading ship? Or even, are you even going to go so far as to make this into a ballistic torpedo for ramming other ships? As always, let me know down in the comments and I'll get back to as many of you as I can. But I've been Commander Chaos Wolf from Sci-Fi Gaming. You guys, as always, have been epic. I will see you soon. And until next time, my fellow commanders, keep flying and stay shiny.